Hi, my name is Richard, and this is my story on prejudice. Although I've never really personally experienced prejudice, I've had second-hand experience about it. My parents were immigrants from mainland China, and they have faced much prejudice during their stay in America. Not only was it scary for them to even dare to come to America, a new country that was completely foreign to them, but they had to face the prejudice given to them when they were in America. I wasn't surprised when my dad told me about when he was given rude comments. America has had a long history in prejudice against Asian Americans. During the end of the California Gold Rush and the end of the building of the Great Transcontinental Railroad, Chinese Americans were put into prejudice. They were given the most dangerous jobs with the lowest pay. Americans treated them like animals, even like property. Then America delivered the final insult. Even though many court cases said the Chinese had a right to live in America, there was too much hate against them. In 1882, President Chester A. Arthur signed the Chinese Exclusion Act. This meant that Chinese immigrants couldn't come to America. Now, not only do the Chinese already living in America have to face the hate inside of the country, they couldn't let their families come back to them. Another group of Asian Americans that were hugely discriminated against was the infamous Japanese internment of 1942. It put hundreds of thousands of children, women, and men jailed behind internment camps in the most remote of locations. Every single one of these Japanese Americans were never proven guilty, and most of them were just American citizens. This meant that America was jailing their own innocent citizens, just because they looked different. This is not much different than what Germany did to its own people, and ironically, America was fighting against that at the time. Now, back to the present. Prejudice is still a problem to all foreigners in America. My parents, for example, were two in millions of people that have faced an act of discrimination. Still remember the day when I walked home from school and I saw my dad on the front yard. There was a couple walking by and they said very hurtful words to my dad. Things like, the Chinese people shouldn't be here. They're taking American jobs. Why are the Chinese people coming here? They should just go back to their own home instead of infecting the United States with their stupid minds. My dad said nothing in response to this, continuing to rake the leaves on the yard. Back then, I was still small, but after the incident, I started to notice things similar to that. Whether it was during a vacation at the hotel or during school, when kids tease us about how we look. Even though it wasn't me going through prejudice, I have seen many instances of this. From a teasing of how we look to not letting us come to America, prejudice has always ran in the roots of America. But this generation can change this. We can change it little by little, piece by piece.
When I was in second grade, I had a best friend who was a different race than me, and her brother really didn't like me. We were on the bus going to school, and he was taking something apart. I really couldn't tell what it was. He said that I was a stupid black person, and he took his hand and quickly ran it across my arm. I couldn't see anything. Then I felt something going down my arm. So I looked, and I was bleeding kind of bad. I told the bus driver, then he moved me to the front and wrote up my friend's brother. When I told on him, he got in trouble, and after school that day, I saw his mom. She yelled in my face and called me a stupid black little girl who didn't know how to be quiet. I was crying and a teacher came over and asked what was wrong. So I told her what happened between me and my friend's mother. She told the principal. I guess my friend's mom told her not to talk to me because she didn't talk to me until third grade. In third grade, when the boy saw me, he would call me really rude words, and I would try to ignore him, but that didn't work. On the bus, he would write words on the windows that he had thought described me. I always got along with his older brother and sister. I always hated how he treated me. The second week of school, my best friend who had not talked to me, she said she would talk to me as long as her brother wasn't around. And if her brother was around, she would fake bully me, so he would be happy. And when he wasn't around, we could hang out like we used to. But I got tired of her fake bullying me, and I told her we should stop hanging out. The day before spring break, I was told I was moving to Austin, Texas with my mom. I got on the bus my last day, and the only seat open was next to the boy. We had to have 3 to a seat, but he wouldn't let me sit down. He pushed me out of the seat and called me a stupid black person and said, "Blacks can only sit on the floor." And then he kicked me. I started to cry when I got home. I was holding my stomach, and my mom asked what happened. So I showed her my stomach. I had a bruise on my stomach. I remember what he told me. He said, "You will always be a stupid black person. You will never succeed at anything. I bet you won't even make it past 6th grade. You stupid idiot." But guess what? He was wrong. I'm a proud student and I made it past 6th grade. Please stop bullying, be a bigger person, and make the world a better place. It's time to make a change.